Hey guys, Jessica Hill Powell here with Meridian Integrative Wellness, and I am here to talk to you today about willpower and motivation. A lot of folks think that you need it in order to pursue health goals or goals in general, but I'm here to tell you today that you don't need them, okay? Willpower and motivation, in fact, they're like the bad boy that you chased in college. They're not reliable, definitely not trustworthy. They come around every once in a while and make you feel invigorated and alive with possibility. And then when it's time to do the work, when it's time to put the rubber to the road, willpower and motivation, they ghost you, okay? You dig deep trying to find them. You can look everywhere, but they're just gone, and they're gone without explanation. This is precisely why you have to stop being so dependent on them. Break up with them for good. Let them go. Even though they make you feel magical when they're there, you know that they're never going to stick around because it's not in their nature to do so. You have to learn how to reach your goals successfully without them. In health coaching, I teach you how to navigate around willpower and motivation so you don't have to keep waiting for the miraculous moment that they return. You can keep working toward and achieving your goals without them. Okay? So, what does all of this have to do with your health? Well, a lot, actually. Breaking bad habits is really hard work, especially if you're relying on willpower or motivation to try to do that. Despite most people believing that their willpower can get them through this time, like this time is different, it's different from all of the other times, it almost never works long term. And I'm not saying that to be a Debbie Downer, I'm saying it for the sake of your health. And mainly because you need to know that there's nothing wrong with you because you've tried to establish a gym routine or tried to start eating healthy or tried to lose that last 20 pounds for the past 5 years, but you never quite made it. Okay, you are in good company because you're a human being, and we've all been there and we've all done that. But I'm here to tell you that you actually can get around your reliance on willpower and motivation and kick bad habits for good by using some good old-fashioned brain science. Okay, this is where the dorky part of me comes out, but I think you're really going to find this to be really interesting. I read a study out of Duke University that said up to 45% of our daily activities are habitual. So I'm partial to Duke since I studied there, but I've seen varying estimates on that number. Some are upward of 60%. So whether it's 45% or 65% of our daily activities that are habitual, this doesn't exactly sound great in relation to positive outcomes for changing habits. It's not all bad though. So autopilot reactions help us to be more efficient, okay? So we can stand at the sink and wash dishes while we talk to our partner about the fact that they leave dishes in the sink and it pisses us off. You don't have to think about how you're washing the dishes as you're talking, okay? You just grab the soap, you put the soap on the scrubby brush, you hold the plate in your left hand and you wash the front side of the plate in a clockwise motion. You flip it over, same clockwise motion. You rinse, you dry, you put it away. All of this is done thoughtlessly while griping at your partner. That, my friends, is brain efficiency. That's multitasking at its finest. So the downside of those autopilot reactions is that they don't exactly serve us in situations where we're reaching for a bowl of chips when we're feeling stressed. And that's a common thing. So this is why behavior change is hard. You have to interrupt your habit loop by ditching the well-worn neural pathways in your brain that are responsible for those autopilot reactions and creating new neural pathways. To successfully change habits, good or bad, you have to rewire your brain. And that is the work that I do as a health coach, is helping you to rewire your brain and learn new healthy habits. So let's talk about that habit loop really quickly. The habit loop is powered by craving. And there's three components to it, okay? So the first is the cue, the second is the routine, and the third is the reward. So the cue is the trigger that tells your brain which routine to use, okay? So I'm going to use an example here of a cue that's pretty common. So you feel overwhelmed by the amount of work that you have to do. So that's your cue, okay? Your routine, that's the physical, mental, or emotional behavior that follows the cue. Your routine could be something like this. Since I know that I definitely need a break because I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette, okay? So the third part of this is the reward, the positive stimulus that tells your brain that the routine worked well, okay? So the nicotine in your cigarette causes a spike in dopamine in your brain, your body relaxes, and you feel the tension melt away, okay? So don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for smoking cigarettes here. We know that reward is brief, but here's the thing, it was still enough to reinforce the behavior as good to your brain. So your brain understands that when we feel overwhelmed and we identify that we need a break, we're going to go outside and we're going to get our cigarette, we're going to smoke, and then we're going to feel better. All right? So the key to breaking the habit loop is twofold. You have to change your routine, first of all, and you have to have a similar or even better reward in order to make a sustainable change. So here's some food for thought today. Maybe you can just think about it. It'd be even better if you could sit down and journal about it. So what is the habit loop that you're stuck in? And then considering that information, how can you successfully interrupt the cycle and free yourself from habits that don't contribute to your well-being? So I hope this has been helpful to you, and you're on your way to understanding that you don't need to wait around for willpower and motivation to miraculously return back into your life in order to start working on a health habit or something that you need to change that will help you feel better. You can start now without willpower, without motivation, and just simply follow the process and get to work. Thanks so much, and see you next time.